On today's Domain Sherpa review, we hear about a recent buy or sale from the Sherpas themselves. We discuss a user-submitted domain name portfolio that includes athletesbody.com, howtosellyourwebsite.com, and getrichtrick.com. We discuss names going to auction soon at NameJet, including keo.com, exx.com, and honeybees.com. And we play the Name That Price game with a surprising result. Stay tuned. I have 3 sponsor messages before we get into today's show. First, if you have a great domain name and nothing to show when people visit, you're missing out on potential advertising revenue, leads, and partnership opportunities. NicheWebsites.com can build you a site quickly with a price option to suit any need. But as their tagline says, they don't just build websites, they build businesses. NicheWebsites.com. Second, if you're buying or selling a domain name or portfolio and you want an estimate of its value, Estabot.com is the place to go. Just like you'd visit Zillow.com to get an estimate of a house value, Estabot.com provides key information about the most important statistics so you can make an informed decision based on data. Finally, whether you're buying, selling, brokering, or financing a domain name, you need an escrow company that's properly licensed, bonded, insured, and audited. That company is escrow.com, and they've been doing it since 1999. Escrow.com. It's about trust. Hey everyone, I'm Michael Cyger, publisher of DomainSherpa.com, and this is the Domain Sherpa Review. This is the show where we get into the minds of successful domain name investors using real examples so we can learn strategies and tactics. We have 4 segments to the review this week. We're going to start off finding out what the Sherpas have recently bought and sold. We'll discuss and value an investor-submitted domain name portfolio. We'll preview some hot domains going to auction soon at NameJet. And then we're going to wrap it up with our Name That Price game and maybe a reader question if there's time. Joining us today on the Domain Sherpa Review are 3 past Sherpas and thought leaders. In order from left to right, we have Adam Dicker, CEO of dnforum.com and nichewebsites.com, the company that will help you build, rank, and update your business website. Filling in for Andrew Rosener is Amar Kuba, past Sherpa, entrepreneur, investor, and director at DomainTools.com. And Shane Kultra, publisher of the blog DomainShane.com and owner of the Country Arbors Nursery in Illinois. Sherpas, welcome to today's show.
Hey, Mike.
So Adam just flew from Canada to Spain to keynote at the Domaining Europe conference taking place last week when this show airs, but in a day or two. How many hours have you been up now, Adam?
I think about 36 with 2 to 3 hours sleep. I'm not really sure because I don't know how long I fell asleep on the plane.
All right,
but I did tell you
flight.
So I'm here.
Awesome. And thanks for joining us today. If I'm correct, you have not missed a show in forever. Like, you are the go-to Sherpa. So thanks for joining us on Little Sleep. Amar Kuba, thanks for joining us today as well. Last year, you sold many of the assets of your company, Thought Convergence, including Agreed.com, assets to escrow.com, aftermarket.com, assets to igloo.com, and Traffic Z, parking assets to Botus. Do you still own anything in the domain name industry?
We still own a lot of great domains. We still have our interest in domain tools, and a few other investments in domain companies. But as far as operating businesses, we've trimmed down to focusing on just domain tools on the operations side.
Well, and it's a great tool. If anybody doesn't have a DomainTools.com account, go over there and sign up for one. I know it's one of the tools that I can't live without, and all the Sherpas have an account there. I used another tool to peek at some of the domain names that you still own. You own a lot of domain names, don't you, Amar?
Yeah, I own some. I have my own personal portfolio, and then we have the Thought Convergence portfolio too.
Yeah, can I read some of them that I found? You tell me if you still own them or not. It's public information.
Sure.
I found stuff like actingclasses.com, dogtrainer.com, gasstations.com, planners.com, gurus.com, autodetail.com. Does those sound like your domains?
Yep, those are all mine.
Yep, great domains.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you.
Good to have you this week. Shane, always good to have you as well. I know that it's sales season. My garden is looking terrible, and I've had on my to-do list to get out there and actually go buy some new plants that didn't make it through the winter. So I can only imagine, if I'm thinking that you just must be slammed day to day at the arbor, at the nursery.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh yeah, no, this is Christmas for me. I mean, this is the year that everybody comes to ask me questions. I'll go to the grocery store and talk plants this time of year.
You're like the mayor, I can imagine, at the grocery store. Everybody sees you and has a question for you.
Yeah, it always starts off like this. Hey Shane, how are you doing? I have an 8x6 area that doesn't get very much sun. You know,
but how many of your nursery customers also know that you invest in domain names and have follow-on questions about domain names?
Wait, now everybody.
Uh-oh. Shane, can you hear me? Amar, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, we're going to wait for Shane to catch back up. We're going to jump right back. We're going to jump into the first segment of the show. Thanks to your feedback watching the show, we're continuing a new segment called What's New Sherpas, where the Sherpas get to share one purchase or sale that they've made over the past few weeks. We're going to learn things like what's the domain name they bought or sold, what's the amount they paid or received, why they thought it was a good deal, how the negotiations progressed. So we get to learn from the Sherpas themselves. I'm going to lead you through the questions, Sherpas, and I'm going to ask the other Sherpas to comment as well at certain points. So Amar, let's start with you. What's one domain name that you've bought or sold in the past few weeks? Just tell us the domain name to start.
I bought psychicadvisor.com.
Psychicadvisor.com. Okay. So, hey, Shane, are you still frozen over there? Then we're going to go to Adam. I might need to see if I can drop Shane. How do I drop a connection? Oh, you know what? I think I tried this before, and it blocked the person. So, all right, there he goes. All right, Shane's going to join us back in. Adam, let's start with you. What do you think that Amar purchased psychicadvisor.com for?
I know the niche pretty well. I know it pays really well. So he likes to spend to get what he wants. So I'm going to say Psychic Advisor. He probably paid about, I know him, I'll say $8,000.
Advisor. It's Advisor, ADVISER or OR?
ER.
ER.
I already own the OR.
All right.
Oh.
And how much do you think he paid, Adam?
Not $8,000 anymore. Then it's ER, so I'm going to change it to about $3,500.
$3,500. Hey Shane, I'm asking you what you think Amar purchased Psychic Advisor with an E, ADVISER.com for recently.
Is advisor, does another country spell it that way?
I think that advisor and advisor is a English UK and American English differentiation.
They're both correct spelling.
Which is the more popular one, Amar?
I thought the one I originally had OR was, but there's actually more search results in Google for ER.
Okay. Shane, what do you think?
I will say 5,500.
5,500. 3,500, 5,500. Amar, what did you pay?
I paid $1,300.
Ba-bam! Nice buy, buddy.
I got a good deal. I got a special friends and family discount from Buy Domains, but even they had it. I thought it was a decent price what they had it for before. I think they had it listed at a little over $2,000.
A little over $2,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you have to negotiate much with Buy Domains?
I mean, I just called and I said, hey, look, I want this name. What can we do? And we talked a little bit back and forth, but it wasn't too tough.
Gotcha. All right. And you're a notable in the industry, so Buy Domains is probably going to cut you a deal knowing that you're going to do more business with them in the future. Do you think that some newbie domain investor, somebody that Buy Domains doesn't know from me, do you think that they would be able to call Buy Domains and get a deal on a domain name as well?
yes, they probably wouldn't get the same deal, but they can definitely negotiate. Everything's negotiable. So you just got to call, you got to tell them you're interested. They build in, generally speaking, just like any business person, they're going to build in some room to negotiate in there. So I always, when I buy a name off of anybody, I'm always going to start way, way lower than what I'm willing to go up to. And it just depends how badly I want the name.
Yeah.
So in this case, I really wanted the name because I had the other spelling, and which I thought again was the better spelling, but in reality, this one has more search volume. And so I figured I should just. Can you hear me?
Froze up for a second there. I know what you mean. I've got SEO Advisor, and I've got one of them, and I tried to buy the other one, but it's just too much money, and then it's just not worth my time. Are you into tarot cards and psychic readings and things like that, Atmar?
No,
Come
but
on,
I know
you can be honest with us.
It's a big niche.
It's big. It's not a niche. It's a big market.
Yeah, some people live their lives by it.
Yeah. I heard some funny segment on the radio driving my kids to school, and I got to watch those because sometimes they get a little raunchy. But some woman didn't want a second date with a guy because he was like a Sagittarius and she was a Virgo, and she's like, it's never going to go anywhere. I'm done.
Oh, Sagittarius are tough,
I don't even know if that's right. I was just making it up. So what are you going to do with the domain, Amar?
There's a lot of affiliate programs for those types of. A friend of mine approached me and said, "Hey, this is a good niche that you should get into," and he has some background in it. So maybe we'll do something together where I bring the domains and we build them out. I mean, there's really a lot of money in that.
Oh yeah,
in that space.
Cool.
So. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for sharing, Amar. Shane, let's go to you. What's one domain name that you've bought or sold in the past couple of weeks?
Well, I've got this new thing I'm doing where I bought Real Bright, which was a simple little domain that was on GoDaddy, and I have learned that there's a lot of auctions that don't get publicity and they slip through, and I can put them right back up and give them a little attention. And so I sold it immediately for $600 more. You want me to give another name? I got another one. Did you guys
hear how much?
I got another one I can switch over to.
Hey, Adam, did you hear how much? You did. All right. What's the other one, Shane?
Okay. The other one is Big Pickle.
All right. Big Pickle. You sold that one, right?
I did sell it.
I do remember that one. Amar, what do you think that Shane sold Big Pickle for? .com.
Where did you sell it?
Flippa.
Okay.
What do you think?
Pickle.
I won't be offended.
Big Pickle.
Can't offend the Big Pickle.
It's very similar to your Real Bright. You got your adjective and noun, or adverb and verb, or I don't. Yeah.
I'm gonna say $600.
Hey, he's offended now. Adam, what do you think you sold it for?
$1,200.
Shane, what did you sell it for?
I sold it for $600.
But bam, Amar nails it. So, and what did you sell Real Bright for? I didn't hear because I was trying to cover it up.
$675.
$675.
Yeah, but I bought those for under $100, and I immediately put them right back up for sale. So it's. So
you're arbitraging it. You're buying low on some other marketplace where you think it's undervalued, and then you're listing it on Flippa. Are you paying just $9 to list it, or are you paying for one of the upgraded listings like $249 or $349?
Straight $9.
Straight $9.
So it's an extra $1,000 a week if you can do your homework correctly, and that's not chump change to anybody.
Now, how much of that sale do you think comes from your blog, your daily list, which I look at, which I see you promoting your domains as well, and how much comes from just the Flippa marketplace, would you say?
Well, I think anybody can do that, but yeah, obviously they'd have to pay to do that, either promoting it through Flippa. So yeah, I'd say half of that. Yeah. So you probably cut that in half if you don't have the marketing opportunity. But it's there. It just wouldn't be quite as much.
So do you think that these types of domains, realbright.com, bigpickle.com, are worth about $500-$600 in the marketplace on Flippa right now?
Yes. I mean, that's the resale value, in my opinion. There is a lot of two well-known words that make sense. Not anything crazy, but those kind of words work really well. And there are lots of them out there that that go for cheap. You just have to pay attention. You have to go through long list every day.
Yeah. All right.
Real Bright.
Shane. Say it again.
Real Bright is a good domain. I actually would have guessed higher on that one.
I mean, I paid $51 on Flippa for it. Went through the whole process, 10 days. Nobody bought it. It was no reserve. There's those kind of names out there all the time.
And you bought that one on Flippa and then sold it on Flippa.
I put it up for auction within an hour of getting it in my account. Yeah.
Wow.
There's lots of people doing that. It's just a matter of some people, you could call it taking advantage, but that's how markets work. You have to know the value of something that can resell, and some people do, some people don't.
But that's not even arbitrage between different marketplaces. That's like you doing better promotion for the sale.
I've got I'm doing it every week.
Arbitrage is just finding inefficiencies in markets. It is everything's arbitrage.
Well, but when you're buying it off of Flippa with a $9 listing and selling it the next week later, listing it the same day for the same $9 listing, that's not arbitrage. That's just better promotion.
It is. But isn't that what everything is?
Well, a lot.
I mean, we could have a whole conversation, but there's all these new TLDs. What's going to define the good and the bad? Marketing.
Yeah. Adam, let's go over to you. What's one domain name that you've bought or sold in the past couple of weeks?
Let's go with bot, and it's wallsafe, and I'm going back to the .ca, so wallsafe.ca.
I think a lot of people like that because we don't talk about a lot of domain extensions or CCTLDs other than the .coms. Wallsafe.com. I know it's a popular term. I know people who have wall safes. Shane, what do you think? And you bought it, right, Adam? What do you think he bought it for, Shane?
Is it a .ca?
.ca.
Oh, Adam
so
knows.
Only the Canadians who want wall safes.
I will say $800.
And Amar, what do you think?
I'm going to say $400.
$400. Adam, what did you pay for it?
$60.
$60.
It was an expired name I picked up in a drop.
What drop catching service do you use for picking up .cas?
No, you asked me last week as well, but after all that flying time, I just can't quite remember.
I'm going to ask you over and over again. One of these days you're going to forget that, I didn't tell Mike. Wallsafe.ca, are you going to hold it? Or are you going to flip it?
I'm going to hold it for now, and I'm going to approach some companies that sell wall safes. And then if they're interested, I'll flip it if the price is right. If not, I'll hold it.
What are you going to price it at?
About $5,500.
What if one of them turns around and offers you $2,000 for it? Would you take it?
It really depends. If I get a lot of interest or just one person that's interested, then I'll make a decision based on that.
Yeah. If it's only one person, would you take it?
I don't know. I'd think about it. I mean, an average wall safe is about $5,000 to $6,000. And I like to sell at least at one unit, so probably not.
Yeah. All right.
It's done that way. If you sell one safe, you got your money back, and you can sell as many wall safes as you want.
Yeah. All right. Good thought process. Thanks for sharing, guys. We're going to move on to the next segment of the show. In the domain portfolio review, we take user-submitted domain name portfolios. So you guys that are watching this show can have your portfolios on this show. And we provide honest and constructive feedback to the portfolio owners so they can either cut their losses, continue to hold the domain names, or figure out a sales strategy going forward. Today's portfolio was submitted by Tim Seidler. As part of Tim's submission, he made a generous donation to the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center, which is working to help us all find a cure for cancer. Tim's list of 25 domain names starts with kidgetaways.com, and it ends with talkcancer.org. Adam, let's start with you. You've looked at this list. What two domain names stand out as the best on Tim's list, and why?
Okay, so for me, it's going to have to be Athlete's Body because I think it's a brandable, and I think it's good for a fitness club or something like that. And the other one I like because it's easy to get indexed is How to Sell Your Website. I know you can get a lot of traffic on that, and I know you can easily get ranked for it and probably pick up some good broker leads.
All right, so those are definitely two keepers on his portfolio. What would you price those domains at if you owned them and an end user was coming to you to purchase them?
I'll put Athlete's Body at about 3,500, and I'll put How to Sell Your Domain Name at probably about 800 to 1,000.
Okay. And what two domain names would you let drop from this list? No questions asked, like they are not that good, I would drop them.
You just want two because there's lots more.
I'm sorry, say it again?
If you just want two, that's fine, but there's lots more than two on here that I would drop.
All right, give me 5.
Okay, let's get rid of job descriptions with a Z. Let's get rid of donator with missing the O. Let's get rid of nursing schools with a Z. And let's get rid of kidgetaways.com because I don't think they're going anywhere alone.
All right, so basically you don't like any of the brandable ones that have a Z or a Z in there, or, you know, it's just spelled wrong. You don't think that they're worth anything?
No, I don't think those ones are. I mean, I kind of like his play on afternoon nap with afternoon app, but afternoon doesn't really go with apps, so it kind of ruins that as well. So I don't like any of those.
All right, great. And kid getaways, aren't people often looking for getaways to take kids to?
But I don't think they're looking for the keyword terms kid getaways because they want to go with them.
Right. Okay. Good feedback. Thanks, Adam. Shane, let's go over to you. Give me your top 2 favorite domains on Tim's list.
Well, I think we're all going to be in agreement. Athlete's Body's definitely probably the best one, and How to Sell Your Website was the one I picked out immediately.
So even though it's 5 words, how to sell your website.
Yeah, I think it's going to have to be HTSYW or some shortening, but I mean, it's tough. And I'll go ahead and throw Talk Cancer was the other one. I think there's a couple maybe build outs, but if you put any of these up for auction, I think the only thing that would receive any bids would How to Sell Your Website. Everything else, I think, would not have any liquid value at all.
Yeah.
So,
and if Tim listed howtosellyourwebsite.com on flippa.com, what do you think it would sell for?
$150 to $250 probably, if he did a good presentation.
And so, that's actively trying to sell it. To Adam's point, maybe you can get 800 to 1,000 if an end user comes to you and tries to buy it. What would you price if you were holding those 2 domain names, Athlete's Body and How to Sell Your Website? What would you price them at if somebody came to you looking to buy them, Shane?
My bottom on any of my websites, if they have any value, is always $2,500 to start. I mean, that's where I'd like to sell anything. If it's worth holding, it's worth $2,500. Mm-hmm. But I'd be like Adam. If somebody offered me $800 to $1,000 on any of that, I'd probably take it and try and buy a better name.
Yeah. All right. What about drops? What did you look at the list and you're like, I would not hold those?
I probably personally wouldn't hold any of them, of the rest of them. I don't see moving any of those. There's a couple I might hold to build out, but of course we all say we're going to build out. We never build them out. That's just the nature of the game. But I think the rest are tough. I usually can see a strategy behind why people there's a lot of play on words, but yeah, I think he can do better. I think he could maybe start over and put his efforts towards stronger names.
Yeah. All right. And I do have a follow-on question that I didn't want to lead the jury with, so I'll ask that afterwards. But your advice is hold on to the Athlete's Body, the How to Sell Your Website, and maybe talkcancer.org, and think about dropping the rest. Amar, let's go over to you. I know it's tough to follow up third. Do you have any advice for Tim that differs from what Adam and Shane have offered already?
When I buy domains or hand register, I always try to think, what would I do with it if there were no questions of resource constraints or anything, or knowledge, what would I do with it? And a lot of these names, I don't know what I would do with. I don't know how you would monetize them. So I think he needs to think a little bit more about why he's registering these names or why he's buying them in the drop. There was one on here which neither of the other guys liked, and I really like it, but I don't know why, other than it's really memorable, and that's Get Rich Trick. And because, everybody wants to make money. And so that's a perfect marketing name. And I think it's very memorable. And so I think that there's some possibility.
So
there's some.
You would hold on to that domain, getrichtrick.com.
I personally would. I like it. It's not the, I agree with the other, with Shane and Adam, that I think Athlete's Body is a pretty decent name, and How to Sell Your Website. That was actually probably my favorite on the list. And I would immediately call Flippa and try to make a deal with them because, or somebody, because I think that's a good name. It is long, but I could see people typing that in terms of search. It's very spot on. It's a good brand. So those are the three that I liked.
What would you price getrichtrick.com at if you owned it and somebody came to you looking to buy it?
So I don't sell anything, or I try not to sell anything for less than $5K, right? Even my crappy domains. And I have a lot of those. I'm sure you're going to find those later and point them out to me. But so I would probably start it at, in the 5, 6, 6,500, 6,488 is usually what I start at. But I would take a lot less, if somebody really wanted it. Like I said, it's not, I don't know if anybody would want to buy that. It has to be the right person that just,
you're going to wait a long time. Get rich quick is the phrase. Mark Ostrovsky, who has been on past Sherpa and very well known, wrote a book, getrichclick.com. So this could be one of those phrases. Somebody's got a trick for getting rich, and they want to brand that trick, and they want the domain name to go with it.
It's brandable, and so anyway, that's the kind of the one that was different than Shane and Adam. The other two, I agree with them 100%.
Yeah, good. And then the other ones, Amar, would you let them drop?
I would drop a lot of them for sure. Like there's one, I'm just really wondering what it means. What's a skinny
fit?
Skimpy fit.
Oh, skimpy fit. I don't know. Hey, Shane, what's a skimpy fit?
Why do you come to me?
I got it, Mike. I got it.
Adam, what's a skimpy fit?
Skimpy fit is basically the same thing as like a real skinny fit, and it's skimpy and it's showing a lot and skimpy on the clothes.
Is that real? Did you look it
Yeah,
up?
Like Taylor Swift with a tight little dress?
It doesn't fit with this, but that's what skimpy means.
Huh. Oh,
Right. That's what. Yeah, I know what skimpy means. It just doesn't make sense to me as a domain.
I don't know if this phrase, like I didn't know what phablet was before you started talking about him on the show, Adam.
Months ago.
So maybe it's like that. Maybe it's some cool hip thing that I'm too old to know about. All right, here's what Tim had to say as a comment. Here's what Tim had to say as a comment. I buy most of my domain names because I see real opportunity to develop a profitable website business on it, and I have the knowledge of SEO, CPC, and search trends. If I identify a niche, I think I could build something profitable on. I usually spend a good amount of time trying all sorts of combinations until I can find a good hand-registered domain name that has brandability. Would you say from assessing my portfolio that the domains all look hand-registered, or does it appear more like a seasoned list? Adam.
So I'm going to say if he's using his secret vision to figure this out, he needs to go to an optometrist and check that 20/20 vision out, because it's not a good list. There's not much on there to do. I think he needs to rethink his strategy. And right now, what I would say is, what I tell most people is stop buying and start reading before you spend another dime.
Well, so if Tim is an expert in SEO and can build out websites, maybe donator.com without the O can be something that he builds into a website. Flickr has done it. Fiverr has done it.
Yeah, but nobody's going to buy those nobody's looking to buy those kind of domains.
Nobody's looking to buy them. So that's the thing. If you're an investor holding them, people probably aren't going to buy them. If you're going to build them, hell, you can build a great website off of anything, as long as it's a compelling offering.
Yeah, that's exactly right. If he knows how to SEO, then he can make any of these work. So that's a different.
There's no natural.
Right, Adam. There's no natural traffic, and to your point, Amar, if he can build a website, get it ranked highly, build that traffic, which is going to take more time and money, then that's an option. We're evaluating these from an investment standpoint if you were just to hold them and resell them. So, I wanted to put that in context. Shane, any final thoughts for Tim?
Yeah, I mean, this is something I learned in retail a long time ago. This is not what you and I like. This is what people will buy. You should never, when I'm buying something in my store, it's not what I think is good or bad. It's what I think the customers will want. When you're buying a domain name, and you're investing, it's not whether you think it's awesome, is whether you think the world's going to think it's awesome. And that's how I think you should approach it. Don't worry about, obviously you're personally trying to gather the information so your decision is the same as the outside world. But too many people get caught up in exactly what they think is great, and it just sits there.
Yeah, good advice. All right, Tim, we hope this review has been useful to you in your investing activities. Thanks again for making a donation to help find a cure for cancer. We're going to move on to the marketplace list. Quick break from 3 sponsors of today's show. First, are you tired of being upsold and cross-sold when you buy or renew a domain? Then try the newest registrar being built from the ground up with a beautiful interface, competitive pricing, and 24/7 support. Uniregistry.com will surprise and delight you. The right domain can change your life. Uniregistry.com. Need a broker who's eager to do whatever is required to sell your domain names regardless of price? Then you need to contact Horton Richards. They specialize in exact match, keyword-rich, geo, and new GTLD domain names, and they sell more than 1,000 a month. Visit HortonRichards.com and tell them the domain you want to sell today. Finally, if you're buying a domain name from a private party and want to know what else they own, DomainIQ.com is the tool you should be using. View their entire portfolio, filter by Esterbot value, and be a better investor. $49.95 for 250 queries per month. Visit DomainIQ.com/portfolio to learn more. We're going to move on to the marketplace list. This segment is sponsored by NameJet. We're going to be reviewing 13 domain names heading to auction soon. Every week I ask for transparency. Are any of the domains on the list owned by any of you Sherpas?
No.
Nope. All right. If you like one of the names listed below, click through soon, because once they go to auction, you lose your chance at NameJet to put in a minimum bid and be a part of the auction, or even just watch the results. Then you need to wait for Shane or Aaron to post the results of NameJet auctions, which can be delayed. So if you want to see what's going on, put in a minimum bid. The links below all go directly to NameJet. They're not commissionable links. They're just trackable so that NameJet knows how much we're selling them and you don't have to go on there and try and search. The list starts with a 3-letter.com, Keo, and ends with zigzags.com. Shane, let's start with you this round. What do you like on the NameJet list and why?
This is one of the better lists that you've come up with, or NameJet has come up with. There's actually, you combine the total sales value of the list. This is probably going to come as high as any of them. So there's, they're pretty easy. When you get the 3-letter.coms, that's gold, Jerry. Gold.
Nice Seinfeld.
Yeah. There's so I'm gonna skip the obvious Keo, VO, and EXX.
Oh, come on, give us a base. What are they gonna sell for?
Oh gosh.
We do it every week. They're gonna sell for at least this much,
yeah.
and First is gonna buy them.
Well, I'll go. Yeah, First is gonna buy them. We can already decide who's gonna buy them, but I will say KEO will sell for 29,000, 29,000.
All right. What about VEO?
VEO will be right there with it. They don't like the V's as well. For some reason, V's are, unless you put 3 of them together like Drew did, the V's are a little weaker on those. But I'll tell you the name I like on the list. I love honeybees. Honeybees is a huge thing right now. Every day in the industry, they're talking about the decline of honeybees and using imidacloprid. Look at that name I threw out there. There's a product that they spray to prevent borers and stuff that's killing honeybees, and it's a huge thing. Not just obviously we're talking honey and all the production, but crops survive from honeybees. It is the center of all fruit production, and there's a pretty big problem of honeybees right now.
Yeah, they're dying out, right?
They're dying out. The native honeybees are fine, but it's the ones that we introduced to pollinate everything that are dying through decline. So yeah, I think that's a huge name. And
What do you think it's going to sell for on NameJet?
I don't know if NameJet will truly discover it, but I think that that's a $50,000 name. I
Retail.
mean, Honeybee would be worth a lot more, honestly, because it's a brand. It's going to be, that's a six-figure name. But even Honeybees, I think on NameJet though, I'm going to lower that. I'm going to say it's more of a 15 to 18,000. I'm going to lower that quite a bit.
So you think it'll be 15 to 18, but then you think it has a retail value of 50?
Yeah, I think 50 could if somebody really develops it out. It's a huge market. It's really big. It's much
But how
bigger
much
than
do bees cost? Like, I've been thinking about buying bees. I think I can get like a whole hive of bees for like $20 or something, can't I?
Well, I know there was a guy that just recently on Kickstarter where you just turn a tap to get honey.
That.
It's a kit. Did you see that? It sold out and reached its thing like $100,000 in hours.
I thought about that. Amar, you have no idea what we're talking about because you're a city guy.
No.
It's this bee hive that, usually you have to pull the honeycombs out and put on the suit and scrape off the honey and clean up the mess, and it's a pain in the what. This guy on Kickstarter has a little tap that you turn and it just drains out, and then you like turn it back and the bees continue to do their work.
Yeah,
it's a sweet invention.
We have that in the city. We have that in the city. We put our key in the ignition and we drive to Whole Foods, and you get
our organic honey. Take it home.
Yep, exactly. So,
all right, Shane. Honeybees.com. Is that your favorite pick on the list? Are you going to put in a bid on it, Shane? Shane,
I'll probably be there. Yeah, I'm definitely going to put a bid on that one. I'm watching it, and it's spelled right. I got all excited about hamster the other day, and it had a P in it. So, all right. I think that's how you spell honeybee.
All right, yeah. That is, I believe, how you spell it. I'm going to be in on that auction too. I was hoping that it wasn't going to be on the list, but I do like it. All right, what's one domain on the list that you think has no value at all, Shane?
Well, I think Zigzags. I don't know anything about Zigzags, but I've heard about them from people, and I think Zigzag's a trademarked paper product for smoking things. I wouldn't buy it just because when you think of Zigzag, that's what comes up to me. So that one would be one I'd be a little leery of.
Unless you can use them for marijuana, because it's legal in my state. I'm gonna have to look that up.
But I don't know if Zigzag's trademarked or not. That's Adams. Still have to look that up.
Look it up. All right, Amar, let's go over to you. What are your favorite domains on the NameJet list and why?
So my two favorites or three favorites, I'm going to say, are Honeybees. And I think it's a great brand for a organic honey, grower or seller, whatever. I don't think people are actually going to buy honeybees online, but I think it's a great brand for some kind of organic grower. And it doesn't have to be just for honey. I think it's a good brand.
Yep.
But I think it's going to go way less than what Shane predicted. I think it's going to go in the 5 to 10K range. And, I'm in that auction too, but I don't think I would pay, I don't even think I'd pay that much.
Yeah.
But it's a good brand.
Yeah.
I like XX a lot. That's also a great brand. I don't know much about the 3letter.com values. I have been seeing them all going, 15 to 20 plus and even higher for the right combo. So obviously all the 3 letters are good, but of the 3 of them, I like EXX. Just to me, it's a good, memorable brand. And then I like SpyMart. I think that's one that you could easily sell. You could easily build out, people are always wanting to buy surveillance equipment, and spy stuff is always exciting, there's a lot of things you could sell on that site. So those are the 3 that I like the best.
I always love going to like those spy stores. I don't know where the last one I saw, it was either in LA or in New York, but yeah, there are spy stores and they got the coolest stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. They have a really big store in LA, actually, in Beverly Hills. That has crazy cool stuff. So
what do you think SpyMart will sell for on NameJet?
There are hard to find good deals on NameJet these days, so I'm going to guess that goes over probably between 1,000 and 2,000.
Yeah,
is my guess. I mean, I don't think it should go that high because NameJet's supposed to be a wholesale marketplace, but I think it might go in that range. But though I'm not sure.
It does seem to be going up in price. I agree. Speaking of EXX, you like that one the best on the list. Did you guys see that that Ron Jackson over at DN Journal just posted that that Guta, Guta.com, George Hong's brokerage firm, just sold PPP.com?
Yeah.
$290,000.
Yeah.
Man, I sent Drew that link. I'm like, don't read this unless you're in a good mood. Because he just sold VVV. I'm wondering if, like, he's going to be kicking himself that he sold it too low or didn't sell it through George.
Or maybe he established a market.
Maybe. Adam, let's go over to you. What do you like on the NameJet list and why?
All right, so I like the 3-letter ones, and I like 1435. I think I like safe banking as well because I had a really weird day today. I had breakfast in Germany, lunch in Switzerland, and dinner in Spain. So maybe the Switzerland is taking over with safe banking. So I do like safe banking.
We've got a little bit of
Mike
a latency
Cyger.
issue with Adam. Hold on one
Online.
second while we catch up. Adam,
Can you hear me?
Oh, yep, we can't hear you now. Go again, Adam.
So I like the 3-letter ones.
Yep.
I also like safe banking because I had breakfast today in Germany, lunch in Switzerland, and dinner in Spain. So I'm stuck on the safe banking. I think that one's decent. I like SpyMart, and I think that online scams is good for reputation repair things.
Oh, good point. Are you going to bid on online scams?
Maybe. I'll probably look at it. I mean, nobody wants to be listed on when they type in Mike Cyger, and the first thing comes up is onlinescams.com/Mike Cyger.
That's true. I would not like that. What do you think about safe banking? What is it going to sell for on NameJet, would you say?
I think Estebat's got it pretty close. It'll probably sell for about $3,500.
Really? You think 3,500?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what about SpyMart? Do you agree with Amar that it'll sell between 1,000 and 2,000?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Doesn't look like there's any trademarks on the list. It looks like a clean list to everybody. Anybody else? Oh, except for zigzags, which you should look at. Any other things that people should be aware of to take a look at?
Didn't SpyMart already go off? I mean, we're going to find out. Well, somebody will have to look, but I feel like I've already seen that one on a list. Well, I'm not sure. I feel like
I don't know. Scott Pruitt sent me this list today, so kudos to Scott for the great list.
Yeah, we'll have to check. And then if somebody who's watching this could check us and do a little fact checking and get back to us with our what we predicted and what actually happened. I keep forgetting to go back and look. It'd be nice for somebody to do that.
Yeah.
To see who's closest.
Yeah, and I'm searching right now on trademark 24/7 zigzag, and zigzags doesn't seem to have an active trademark. Zigzag has multiple trademarks in many different industries. Computer software, computer programs, entertainment and educational services, locking devices. So
rolling papers.
No, I didn't see any rolling papers. I didn't see any tobacco uses or anything.
I've been on the show with Drew too long. What's going on?
Speaking of which, Drew is probably using some rolling papers right now. All right. That is the list at NameJet. You're going to try and acquire honeybees.com, Shane. Adam might try to acquire online scams, but then again, he might not. So don't bid on it. Any other domains that you guys are definitely going to bid on?
Nope.
Chilean wine, nobody mentioned it.
Yeah, I don't know my Chilean wine very well.
Isn't that the thing that you always see on the movies nowadays that like, ooh, this is a nice Chilean wine?
Yeah, now Seabass would have been better, I think.
All right. Good list, NameJet. Okay, Sherpas, we're entering the lightning round. Today we're going to play Name That Price. Amar, if you can, get a piece of paper. Do you have a piece of paper that you can write some prices on?
I will go get one. I just need one.
Yeah, one piece of paper and a pen. Okay. All right, for the audience, here's how the game works. I name 3 domain names that sold recently. Doesn't matter who it sold to.
and I'm not going to tell you where it sold. You write down the price that it sold at. No looking up search volume, no looking up past sales. If you got a really good memory, that's to your advantage. The closest answer wins. Best 2 out of 3 wins the game. If we have to go to tiebreaker, we will, like we did last week when Adam swept it. Back on top, Adam. All right, we're waiting for Amar to come back with a piece of paper. There he is.
I've been waiting for the Jimmy Kimmel game where you name an item and then we have to go find it in our house. That's really my thing.
I'll be using hotel napkins for this challenge.
Nice. All right. All right, Amar, all you need to do, we're going to write down 3, maybe 4 numbers. That's all you have to do. So separate your piece of paper. There you go. You got multiple pieces. You're good to go. All right, so I'm going to name the domain name, Amar. You just write down the price that you think it's sold for. It was a recent sale. It did sell. Could be retail, could be wholesale. I'm not telling you where it sold. First up, it's one of those domains that Shane was talking about earlier, that type of domain. It's an adjective and a noun combination, the kind of domain name that Rick Schwartz would be a proponent of. Speaking of Rick, we need to get Rick back on the show for a guest out of retirement. All right, the domain is purefuel.com. PUREFUEL.com. Pure Fuel. What do you think it's sold for? Write down your answer. All right. Adam, Amar. Shane is still writing. All right. I think Amar is. Are you ready, Amar?
Yep.
All right, hold him up, boys. Adam has, what is that, $4,500, Adam?
Yeah.
$4,500. Shane has 888, lucky number. Amar has $640. What is that word? What did you write above that, Amar?
Oh, just the domain.
Oh, okay, $640. So Adam has $4,500, Amar has $640, and Shane has $888. Amar and Shane are pretty close together here. Why, Adam, did you think that the domain sold for $4,500?
Because I think Pure Fuel has some advantages. I mean, we have 3 different types of unleaded. I can't imagine that a Pure Fuel wouldn't be worth something.
Yeah. All right. I like to hear that reasoning. The domain sold for $1,356 on the 14th of April at dropcatch.com, which I think is that drop catching service owned by the Reberry brothers. Reberry. Which one?
I don't know. I call him by their first name.
By Jeff over there. What are you eating there, Adam?
Dessert was just delivered, and Linnell tried one, and she said it's delicious, so I'm about to have this, some chocolate hazelnut thing.
Oh, that looks good. All right, so Shane gets the W on that one. Nice job, Shane. So clearly it was a drop catching service. I guess dropcatch.com has an auction price on there, and it did sell to most likely a domain investor for $1,356. Shane gets the W, but if they were to go around and resell it, Adam might be closer to that. But
Yeah.
Shane still gets the W. Next up, the kind of domain name that Mike Berkens often lists on Facebook for most wanted domain sales, but it wasn't sold by most wanted domains, I'll tell you that much. The domain that sold is takethechance.com. Take the chance. Not take a chance, but takethechance.com. And I'll tell you that in the USA, the Google search volume for take a chance is larger than take the chance. But again, I want to know takethechance.com. What did it sell for? Write down your answer. How's that dessert, Adam?
I'm not eating it until we're done the show out of respect for the other Sherpas and yourself.
Oh, that's nice. You do think that's going to be your celebratory dessert for winning the game again?
I'm down with nothing. It's just because I'm hungry.
All right.
I'm going to take the chance.
I'm trying to egg you on. Throw down some slam the other Sherpas.
It's almost 11 o'clock here at night. So
I know, it's late.
Pillow.
All right. You guys ready? Hold them up.
Yeah.
Hold up your prices. All right. 1888 for Shane. Amar's going with 2500, and Adam is going for, hold it a little bit to your left, 4500 again. Adam, are you going to hold the same price all 3 times?
No, but I'm trying to win this round.
All right, the domain takethechance.com just sold on Cedo for $15,000. Adam gets the W.
Back in it, baby.
Yeah, that was a surprising one, wasn't it? $15,000. That seems like one of those, like, you got it listed with a buy it now price, and somebody's like, I've got some promotion, I'm just gonna buy it.
Yeah, it's obviously an end user for branding, and it's a great domain. So it's kind of hard to say a price when you don't know where it's sold.
I know. That's why I'm trying to screw you guys up. It's hard.
Amar, we've been telling them that for like 3 months.
All right, Amar, you can tie it up, buddy. Last up, sold this year. What do you think it sold for? The domain is onlinechat.com. Onlinechat.com. I wish I could go back in time and buy chat.com. All right, Amar's still writing. Shane's done. Adam's done. Adam's feeling good about this one. He might remember how much it sold for. Okay, hold him up, boys.
I don't have a clue.
Adam is writing 17,000. Shane is writing 8,500, and Amar wrote $18,000.
I squeezed Adam.
You squeezed him. You got the lower one. And the correct answer is it sold at Cedo. Cedo. Amar, how do you sell it? Is it Cedo or Cedo?
Oh, what's the price?
I say Cedo, but I think it's Cedo.
It sold for $24,000. Amar has tied it up. It's a neck-and-neck race. Now, that seemed like a pretty good price. $24,000, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, he screwed me on that.
Do people still chat?
Dude, come on. I chat with you all the time. Oh, you're online. I don't know. I'd have to ask my daughter. All right, we're going to go to the tiebreaker. It's sudden death. There can only be one winner. Here's the tiebreaker. The domain is deleting.com. As in delete, but ing. DELETING.com. Deleting.com. What did it sell for? Deleting.com. Adam's ready. Shane is writing. Amar is writing. Deleting.com. We're going to sudden death here. All right, hold them up. Let's see what we got. 4,003. Is that yours, Shane?
Yep.
Amar, what do you have? 1,200.
Same one I'll go with. 4,500.
All right, and Adam's going with 4,500. So we got 4,500, 1,200, and $4,003. Is that right? Are you pissed, Shane? What are you pissed about?
Oh, yeah, I got squeezed.
You got squeezed. I know. You got to hold them up at the same time. So
$497 window.
This one just closed today on Flippa. Shane Balone, who is a past Sherpa, listed it. Did you see did you know what it was? You couldn't have known what it was, Adam, because you've been traveling all day.
I'm just hoping I won so I can have my dessert.
Go ahead and eat your dessert. You were closest. It sold for $6,000. Shane brokered it over at Flippa. $6,000. Enjoy that. Here comes the slam. All right. Congratulations. Good game, guys. That was neck and neck. All right. Adam's got 2 in a row. Next week, next show, we got to see if he three-peats. I got a quick question from the audience. You guys know Noor Manji. He asked a question last week. You guys liked the question. He wanted to know what tools you guys use to value domain names. Drew has mentioned Domain Index a time in the past. I like to revisit these questions because you guys are different now than you were maybe 2 years ago, 4 years ago on the show, and the way we value domain names changes. You may look at data, you may look at ads, but generally, how do you value domain names? Amar, let's start with you. What tools do you use, if any?
I've always been a go with your gut guy. So first and foremost, that's kind of just what I do. If it speaks to me. But I do look at Estabat, definitely. I use domain tools to go through and see who owns it, who has owned it, who owns names in other extensions, and similar names, not even just the same name in other extensions, but also similar names. And I see if there's somebody that might have a group of names around that particular domain.
Will domain tools show you similar names?
No, I mean, that's something that, well, I guess it does. There are tools for that. But for me, I'll just, for instance, Psychic Advisor, I would have looked up Psychic Advisor, the other spelling, the plural, you know, and other, you know, related psychic names. And then I also obviously look at Google search volume. So those are pretty much the basic tools that I use.
And then how close usually to the Estibot value is your gut? You know, are they order of magnitude? They're never on directly, of course, but are they order of magnitude, or what do you think?
It's kind of all over the place, because I'd say Estibot in some cases is really conservative, and in some cases I think they're really high. But that's why I kind of, you know, you triangulate.
Yeah,
I think it's great to use as a guide, kind of as a sanity check too.
Yeah, because like psychicadvisor.com, for example, Estibot value is $460. I can see the .com is taken, the .net is taken, the .org is available, .info is taken, biz and US are available. I can see related domain names that are for sale at other marketplaces, and yours is a better one than those, and what their prices are. So that's sort of how you judge it.
Right, and that's actually a really good point, is seeing other domains. Let's say you want to buy the .com. If the .net is owned by, you know, a domain investor and you see it listed for sale, then you want to see what it's listed at, because they're also a good indicator of, hey, if they're asking that much for the .net, and if you can get the .com for less than that, I think that there's, you know, that's one additional piece of information.
Yeah. Do you find that you need to do your research on a domain name, that you can't just come up with a number off the top of your head?
No, I feel like the research just helps. But for me, if I like a domain, I have my gut instinct and what I'll value it at. And if I like it, I'm just going to buy it.
Cool.
But it's always nice to have backup.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Shane, what about you? What tools do you use to value domain names?
Well, I agree with Amar. I think the first thing we all do is we come up with a number that we think, and to say it isn't arbitrary would probably be lying. But then I use name bio. I love Adams and what Michael Sumner's come on and really helped name bio to be easier to use. So I think we're all looking for reassurance that our prices are right, make sure we don't price it too low. So you look at past history and you look, what were other people willing to pay, or what did it sell for? So I think history and comps are very important to how I price them. But so that's where I spend most of my time. I go to Estibot, but it's more for an emotional lift, or, you know, there's only so much it can do. That's just an opinion based on some algorithm. But sales are sales. Somebody paid those dollars to buy that.
And Estibot does list the sales in there as well, so it makes it easier.
They're in there as well. Name bio for me, now that Michael and Adam have worked it, is much easier for me to use now. So I find myself on there and finding. I think Estibot does a great job, but sometimes the related sales are a little off. What they think is related and what I think are related tend to be a little different. Yeah. So that's where name bio does a great job. So that's kind of my biggest tool when it comes to names. The rest are just to make me feel better or to guide me along.
Yeah. I like to feel better about my purchases too.
Yeah.
Adam, how about you? Any other tools that these guys didn't mention, or that you completely agree with, that you always use?
Yeah, so here's the problem. I love NOR, but the real issue is that all the tools that I use are here. A lot of it has come from experience, and even the pricing game, that's what we all use. We use our brain, and that's what I use to decide if I want a name. When I'm buying it, I really think about what business I can build with it. Not so much what I'm paying for it, but to make sure it has value. When I'm selling it, I go by what it would sell for, fair market value. So it's very hard. I don't use any tools really. I don't look at Estibot. That has no difference to what I'm going to buy or sell for. So,
which is funny because, like, you know, it seems for the DomainSherpa review, you do look at the Estibot values not necessarily the valuation, but all of the data that goes in there. How many ads, the cost per click. You look at data like that, don't you?
Well, that's because I'm evaluating. Actually, I knocked the columns down to about 4 or 5 columns. I look at mostly the CPC and mostly the ads and if there's high or low competition. It's really all I look at, but it's just to give me a 1/20th of what I'm actually looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, good point.
I think that Esteban does a great job, even if you ignore the actual appraisal, which I tend to agree. It's just, like I said, it's all over the place. But Luke does a great job of putting all that other information together in one easy to find place. So it just saves you time, and that's really what it is. It gives you a lot of information at a glance.
And to further that point, I like the fact that I go to Google AdWords. I go to Google AdWords and I do a search on an exact match, and I can look up the volume. But that's only Google, maybe US or worldwide. But when I go to Esteban, Luke includes that and includes other search engines that I don't use, but other people do. Like some people still use Yahoo, and some people use Bing, and some people are using the other search engines. So they include that. I do usually double check when when Esteban says this number of advertisers and this much cost per click. I'll go search Google myself and see if there's any advertisers, because a lot of times if it says there's one advertiser and the average CPC is $1.50, I won't see any advertisers. And it could be a cyclical issue throughout the year. Maybe they're just not advertising right now, but I want to make sure that there actually are advertisers. So,
and I get a question for Adam. He says he wants to give it fair market value. How does he determine fair market? Is that Adam's fair market value, or
most definitely?
What do you do?
It's definitely my fair market value based on what I think I can do with the site and what I'm going to build with it. It really has nothing to do with. Well, I tend to overpay for names that I really want because I know I'm going to build businesses on them. So for me, and we talked before last week, it's not about a couple $100 or 500 or 1,000 here or there. If you really want the name and you've got a good idea for it and you can make it profitable, or you see the value as going to be even higher once you build it, it really doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about it. It's just like that name that sold for $15K that we all priced much lower. It doesn't matter. It's what the buyer thinks it's worth, not what we think it's worth.
Yeah. Good point. That was buyshares.com on FlipUp for $15,900. I'm going to have that broker on DomainSherpa in a couple of weeks talking about how he took that domain name, which the owner had bought for $2,400 and flipped it on FlipUp for $15,900. So that's stick around for that one. All right, we're going to wrap up the show with 30 seconds apiece to promote anything you want. Adam, you are in Valencia, Spain this week. But by the time this show airs, you're going to be done with that conference. Anything you want to promote in general?
It's hard for me to think of something, so I'm going to leave this one and let the other two guys promote something.
All right. Amar, this is the point in the show where I give you the opportunity to mention, places you're going, if people want to meet up, things you're doing, any service offerings, any specials, something that you have maybe coming out with domain tools in the future, anything you want to mention and give a shout out to.
No, not really. Not looking to promote anything. I'm looking at building out some of a few of my domains into businesses. So if there's any people out there that with strong development skills, if they're interested in doing some development in exchange for a piece of the upside, then hit me up.
Cool. What are your favorite domain names right now that you would love to develop if you could find a phenomenal developer?
Well, one of them is I own a bunch of protein bar related domains. So that's one I want to do, proteinbars.com, and singular and plural. I have nutrition bars, and I have a few other ones around around that vertical. Like I said, psychic advisor maybe is one. I have a lot of stuff that I'd like to consider building out, but I don't know how to program, obviously, and I want to find people that have some passion around it and would be willing to do it for some equity.
Cool. All right. If you're interested, contact Amar through the Thought Convergence website.
No, you can just go amar@kuba.com.
Amar@kuba.com. Shane, anything you want to promote or mention?
Yeah, if you're looking for petunias or begonias, I've got beautiful ones right now. They're doing real well. Again, the blog, I'm only have time to do the list. So yeah, domain Shane, but Aaron does a great job with all his stuff and his flips and flops and looking forward at different things. He does a fantastic job of that. Mine's down to the list, and I'll apologize publicly for not getting back to emails as much as normal, but it's go time in the nursery industry. And that pays the bills this time of year. Domains is more in the fall, but I give it a good effort. But yeah, come by Domain Shane and see what Aaron's doing.
All right, and your list is still getting out on a daily basis, even though you said you may not get it out. I saw the reference yesterday to Mike Cyger. I appreciate that. The one thing that I was going to mention, Shane, is if somebody is starting a promotion on Flippa, they think they have one of these domain names that would be good for developers. Can they get you to promote it?
Yeah, I mean, it's simple. I do charge $10 a name. I usually don't take more than 5 names a day because I'm trying to keep a list of things I pick, but 5 names a day. Everybody seems to be really happy. You know, they wouldn't come back and buy it if they didn't think that it works, and every eyeball helps. I mean, that's why I had to write this weekend, is I had a couple people pay for listings on Saturday and Sunday, and I have to do a list, so I end up not resting like I should have.
All right. Well, I enjoy reading those lists on a daily basis. If you received benefit from today's show, post a comment below and thank today's Sherpas. If you want to check out that list from Shane, go to DomainShane.com. You can sign up for his newsletter, or go to domaining.com on a regular basis, and you can see them usually listed at the top of the page every morning. Thanks to Tim Seidler for submitting his portfolio review and making a generous donation to help us all find a cure for cancer through the Fred Hutch Cancer Research Center, which is Domain Sherpa's charity of choice. Thanks to NameJet for submitting their portfolio and sponsoring the Domain Sherpa review. And thanks again to our Domain Sherpas, Adam Dicker, Amar Kuba, and Shane Culture, for sharing their experiences and insights. We'll see you all next time. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.